Hi, this is Eric here, and in this tutorial we're going to be going through how to set up the Cashbook. And this is the first screen that you get when you install the Cashbook, assuming that you haven't run it before with any other Cashbooks. So, for new users, here we go. Click New. So now we're going to put in your organization name. And the email address. And your first name. Now, the email address is used for emailing invoices and statements, and it also is for newsletters, and you can unsubscribe from the newsletters if you want. Anyway, there you go, that's Jack's Plumbing. Click Next. And yes, the country is for New Zealand, and it just shows the number format, which is for is it pounds or dollars or pesos or whatever, so ignore that. Anyway, New Zealand, are you sure? Yes. Now there's three different editions, and they're priced differently. Cashbook Home is basically for personal use or family trusts that don't have GST. Then there's the Cashbook Lite, which is for small businesses or trusts that do have GST, clubs, charities, things like that. Then there's Cashbook Complete, which is basically got all the modules: invoicing, statements, timesheets, quotes, stock control, basically the whole lot, and includes GST. So we're going to click on Cashbook Complete. And we'll put in a GST number, just make something up. Now, for the GST return type, we strongly recommend that you select payments basis, not hybrid or invoice basis. And the reason for that is that payments basis fits well with the Cashbook, where invoice basis and hybrid basis starts linking to invoices, and it just becomes quite messy, and strongly recommend that you use payments basis. Okay, so we'll put in our bank accounts. I'll just type some numbers and a savings account and a credit card and petty cash. Okay, so now for the opening balances for your check account, it's the closing balance from the day before when you want to start. So for example, if I want to start on the 1st of April, then it's the closing balance of your check account on the 31st of March. So let's put in a closing balance. And same for the credit card, same for your savings account. And we'll assume that you pay your credit card off every month, so there's nothing outstanding. And for the petty cash, let's say you've got a petty cash box somewhere and you've got $244.50 in it. There you go. And that's, say, for the 1st of April on a certain year. Okay, so let's click Next. Are you sure that it's all correct? Yes. Now these are the categories that the Cashbook uses, and there's basically three groups. First is all your income categories, which add to your profit. Then all your expense categories, which remove from your profit or subtract from your profit. And then your balance sheet categories, which don't add or subtract from your profit. These are not for your balance sheet report. It's actually categories that are, balance sheet categories. So for example, if you transfer money from one bank account to another, you'll select the transfer category, but that doesn't affect your profit. Similarly, if you take drawings out of your business, you're taking some of the profit out, but you're not actually affecting the profit. If you pay GST to the IRD, you're paying them money that already belongs to them, you could say, and that again doesn't affect your profit. So these are all things that don't affect your profit. Things like assets get depreciated, loans, it's money going in and then out again, or the other way around. So yeah, so those are all balance sheet categories. If you want to add a category, just type it at the bottom. If you want to delete it, click over there and hit the delete button. Or to delete a category, just go right click and then go delete, and that deletes it. So that's your category setup. Let's click next. And now we put in your address and some place and a phone number. And this is going to be used for your letterhead, basic letterhead. Let's click next. And that's basically your initial setup finished. If I click finish, basic setup is complete. You can rerun the setup wizard at any time to be shown more advanced setup options. Okay, that's good. So now this is your main screen. It's like a set of tabs on the left hand side, a menu along the top, and a toolbar over here. And now we're going to run the setup wizard again and have a look at the more advanced options. Okay, date format, day, month, year. And for security, you can set up different privileges for different people that will use the Cashbook. So one employee might be able to just do their timesheets, but another employee can do invoices and look at the Cashbook. So you can set up, and they all have their own separate login. So that's for that option there. I won't go through that. Next. For this screen, I recommend that you put in your bank's website. So that'll be https blah blah blah. Get the URL of your bank's logon page so that you can, from the Cashbook, quickly go to your login page, log in and download bank statements. So that's that page. We've already done that, done that, done that. Now for this page, we're setting up your invoicing. You can specify your first invoice number. Do you want to display the GST number on the invoice? You can have payment slips at the bottom of the invoice and payment slips at the bottom of the statement, and you configure them with these buttons. And you can display whether you want payments to be displayed at the bottom of the statement or not. Then you can also set up for emailing invoices what's the footer text, and same for a few other things, PDF. You can, when you email PDF invoices, what's the default subject, blah 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 blah, and you can go through and set that up. Anyway, let's click next. Done that screen. Now this is the screen for setting up the letterhead, and what we're going to do is put in a graphic for Jack's Plumbing. So I'll turn on the graphic, and there's a little example there. And then I'm going to go to Paint, and over here I've got a graphic in Microsoft Paint of Jack's Plumbing. Now you have to import your logo from Paint. You can't import it from anything else. So you can't import it from Photoshop or CorelDRAW or anything else. It has to be from Paint because it assumes that the graphic is a bitmap, and that can only come from Paint. If you have it in Photoshop, you just need to get it into Microsoft Paint first. Okay, so I'm going to go Control A, and you'll see that it's now all selected. Control C, go back to the Cashbook, click on the logo, Control V, and there it is. Now I want to remove his name at the top there, so I turn that off. And then I want to move that up, so the top of the graphic is 0. And then I want to make it a bit wider, so make the width 9. And then I also want to make it a bit higher, so let's make it 3. And there you go, there's Jack's Plumbing. And then you can also rearrange other things. You can move the line up and down or whatever you want. So anyway, if I click preview, then that's what your letterhead looks like. And let's click next. Now you can set up all your employees and put in their hourly rates, and then click next. And that's the end of the setup wizard. All done. And now you're now ready to start using the Cashbook. And if you need help on anything, have a look at the other tutorials. Okay, thanks for watching, and catch you around. See ya.